My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Nunas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
I am Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And it's that time again. We're back, okay? It's time for everyone's favorite monthly occurrence, the What Are We Watching episode, where we just tell you what we're watching and if we like it and why we like it.
The last one for 2021.
That's true.
Yeah, that's right. The last one of the year. Little preamble. I am sick. It is not COVID as per usual. I have a bad cold. So I sound like shite. I apologize in advance. And now to determine what order we will be revealing our watch playlist. Jessie and Siri, take it away.
All right. Hey Siri, give me a number between 1 and 4.
It's 2.
It's 2. It's me. Finally.
Yay!
Give me a number between 1 and 4.
The answer is 3.
Okay.
It's me.
Give me a number between 1 and 4.
The answer is 1.
Okay.
Okay.
So
We now have an order. So we'll go Jessie, Natalia, Amanda, then Sky.
all
All right. Jessie, take it away. What have you been watching?
Okay, I've been watching a bunch of stuff, but I think most of it we talked about last month, but I'll still go over it. Because a lot of the things I'm watching are airing, and this is their month to end airing. So first we have Chimera. I'm about a week behind on it. It's a pretty good show. It's not my favorite crime show, but it's decent. I've been enjoying it. It's kind of a really nice one of those, you watch an episode or two and then you're like, I'm done with this for the, day or week. So it's kind of a nice to not like have a drama where you're like, I don't know, like so invested or like so wanting more but can't have more. It's kind of nice to just have like a middle of the road type drama to watch,
Mm-hmm.
And it's getting good now. The story is kind of progressing. It's about like a serial killer case from the past and something happens in the future and it's tied to that, and it's kind of police corruption type show.
Is it too corruption-y for you, since you're usually not a corruption-y person?
Not too corruption-y, because it's got a lot more interest in it, and also the way that they set it up, because it plays a lot with like the serial killer's main thing is that they create bombs, and usually they're bombs that are created by like some sort of chemical thing so that like it ignites when someone goes into a car or something like that. So it's not like a thing. And the main female lead is Claudia Kim, and her character's role is that she's this like bomb expert. So they do a lot of stuff which I'm sure like everybody else is like, this is boring, but I like, this is what I like, where like she's actually like showing like what they're doing or what like is happening, kind of like that educational thing that they do in crime and medical shows, so that like the general populace know what's going on. So it's interesting.
And the cops competent, or I mean, other than the corrupt ones, like
yes, so far, yeah, it's a little bit different too in that way, that it's not like super focused on individual cops and kind of more on this like backstory. So
cool.
Yeah. Dr. Brain, I decided to hold off on it. I started watching it and then knew, I was like, no, Jessie, you need to hold off until it actually like airs. And yeah. So as of the day that we're recording this, it will be next week, next Thursday or Wednesday or whatever. It will be airing its last episode. So it will be perfect, like watch a couple of episodes
I will be watching
in the
all
like
of it.
next week. So I just decided that was like the best way to do it, because it's very cliffhangery. It's not like a fun one to watch with like a cutoff of the episode and then have to watch.
We've been damaged by the ability to binge from streaming. That it's like cliffhangers, unacceptable.
It's so weird because like we are the group that like spent our like childhood with cliffhangers, so we actually know what that is.
Regular part of existence. Like there wasn't even like recording TV unless you like remember to put a friggin' VHS in.
Right.
No. no more.
Yeah, so that's what it's only 6 episodes, so it's gonna be an easy binge if anybody's like looking into it. It is on Apple TV. It's Apple TV Plus. Yes, Apple TV is their device. The plus means it's their online stream. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Next, we have a show that is very, very near and dear to both mine and Natalia's heart.
Oh my God.
But we can't talk a lot about it because
No.
we want you to experience it first. So we don't want to like spoil it. But also we will 100% be doing a little extra spoiler episode on it. And that is
best show of the year.
It is the best show of the year. Happiness. Hands down, my favorite show of the year.
Like we are not worthy of happiness. It is so good.
Every week I go, this show can't possibly do something to top the last week. And then it does. Every week consistently.
It pulls out another, but not like in a jumping the shark way. In like a totally organic, believable way that you did not see coming.
Yeah,
you're just like,
it's perfection.
So what type of watcher is it appropriate for?
So I would definitely say that if you do not like horror, while I see that you can watch it, I don't think. Well, see, here's the thing: the way that the show is built on suspense and tension, and so if you don't like that, you're missing out on like a huge part of it that I think would be just. At that point, why are you watching? Honestly,
that's kind of the mechanic of the entire show.
I mean, it's not like super crazy scary, but it is like it's a part of the thing. Like, there's this, but they do these really great tension builds that are actually genuinely like get you into a place, and it's not just like frivolous scares. It's so good.
It is a zombie show, but it's like not really about zombies, if that makes any sense.
Well, when zombies come up, and then the question becomes gruesome level. Are we talking like Kingdom?
No. Okay, so here's the basic premise, because I'm pretty sure that it wasn't airing the last time we had a watching.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think it was.
The basic premise is that you are in a world that is like post-COVID, or at least COVID is like a known thing. People are used to being in lockdowns, being masked up, that sort of thing. And a new virus starts to spread in this like one apartment building, and the government and the army section off this apartment building. And so the virus is, they call it rabies. So it's a rabies based zombie thing. And it's mostly about the people in the apartment complex, and it's about people being terrible more than anything, and the zombies still being human. They play a lot with just realism of everything. And so there's another whole story that I'm not going to talk about, but what's going on, you don't know really what's going on the outside world too, because they're so confined into this apartment building. And the two main leads are they're a pair of best. They're the absolute best, but they're a pair of high school friends, for lack of a word,
real loosely. High school acquaintances
are now married, but it's like just a
marriage of convenience, so that they could get, because like there was like a point system. So one of them's a detective, and the other one is like anti-terrorist, like tactical cop.
Yeah.
So, and not the guy, the girl is the anti-terrorist tactical cop, which is pretty nice.
You're really selling this show to me,
right? We're trying to. And so every time a new apartment building is built in Seoul, a certain number of the units have to be like designated for civil servant or low income rentals, and that's how they get away with building these giant buildings, to like sort of help with population density. So in order to qualify for one of these as a civil servant, you have to have a certain number of like points. So you have to have like, exemplary service. But another way to get points is that if you're newlywed or you have children, you get extra points. So they decide to get married in order to get enough points to qualify for this apartment.
So just a second. So that aspect, is that like for reals, or is that just within the
No,
mechanics
that's for
of the
real.
show?
That's like
Okay.
a real thing.
Like, and within the mechanics of the show itself plays in this because like half of the building is rich people who own their apartments and then half is low income people,
Leasing.
and so you see that play out in these like things where like there's tension and the wealthy people obviously look down on the lower,
And that
Yeah.
actually
people.
informs a little bit of even some of my other drama watching in the
Yeah.
past, because I've seen a little, but really all they typically say is it's always like own versus renters. That's usually how they
Yeah.
just talk
That's
about
how-
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's essentially
Okay.
how they do it. And then there's also like a set of cleaners who were
Mhm.
cleaning out an empty unit when the lockdown went down, and so
Oh,
they're also
man.
trapped in
And it's
this
also-
building.
Oh.
well, they
And it-
only show the one building. This is like a massive multi-building complex that's being corned off, so there was like a grocery store within this
Mm.
place too, so they show a lot of like the differences of
Yeah.
like people who were just kind of stuck there when this, like, because the army just came in and like put up the walls,
Put up
immediate-
barricades, literally just
like-
put up barricades in the middle of the
Wow.
day, and we're like, you're not coming in, you're not going out.
But it's so good. The
It's
writer
so
director
good.
team is the same writer director team of Watcher, and I thought they were phenomenal in that, and they were able to do types of characters just so effortlessly and flawlessly, and it's translating into this show, because this show, if you didn't have the right producing team, would have been terrible. And it's just incredible, and there's just between the two leads, they're just so good. Like
So good.
It's so funny on the
They're
timeline
so
because
good.
if you didn't know better, it's a drama called Happiness, and all I see, almost all the screenshots and stuff, are the couple stuff.
I know.
It looks like it's a cute rom-com about, you
Okay,
know, a marriage of convenience. I'm like, could you guys maybe just do like a rom-com cut for me so I can just
well,
like, watch
like,
the
there's
cute
no
they don't have
rom-com.
any
There's
com
no
in it,
rom-com.
so I
There's
mean,
no
like a
rom-com.
romance, sure, but like no com whatsoever.
No, yeah.
And if the people are like, I get why people are doing it, because they really like focusing on that, and I think the people who are only focusing on that aren't getting like the whole entire show. Everything about it is incredible. Like every single character is interesting, what they're doing with it, how they're working this rabies thing in, how it's just so like realistic and real, and the way
then
that they're doing the characters are that
the
they
military
built,
guy,
the
like, there's also, like,
military.
a guy who's like in charge of the military response and like the virus response, and he's the actor
I
playing
will
him.
say that like the
is
two leads are
unreal.
so fucking great, because
They're
like it's
so good.
obviously they love each other, so there's that thing, but they do this thing because they literally they'll go around because they're now like the, you know, the two who know how to do things around the like building, and so if there's an injustice, they're gonna come around, and they always have like a bat with them because that's all they have.
Oh my gosh.
But like they literally they do this thing where like they'll do a damsel in distress moment, but it's not just one-sided. Sometimes it's him, sometimes it's her, and sometimes it flips within like 5 minutes of the show. And it's just
And
Oh,
also, and
nice.
they'll like work
Beautiful.
together so beautifully. Like their takedowns of infected people are,
they're
one, extremely realistic for how these people
Yeah.
would be trained, and two, so fucking they work together.
they don't do the like silly thing where like they're bickering the entire time
No,
because they're in
They
this
don't,
marriage
they
of
don't bicker at all. They
convenience.
have such a lovely like
like
relationship.
a great relationship.
I'm sold on this show. I'll
You
say
like
sorry.
I say like watch it during the day so you don't get scared. I do think
Yeah.
it genuinely like does some really nice horror builds to it that are just really effortlessly pulled off and just
It is not
worked in
gory.
perfectly.
It is
No,
not
there is
gory
blood, but
or
it's not, like,
overly
super
violent
gory.
in any way. So no,
Yeah.
show of the year. Show of the year. Hands
Yeah,
down.
no,
Hands down. Show of
seriously,
the
I
year.
literally
Like-
after the third episode, I tweeted, I was like, I know this is like early, but I think this is my favorite show
Yeah.
of the year. And we're what, like episode 11, I think.
Yeah.
Is that the number we're on?
No,
like-
10.
or
10 is
10.
coming out today.
And it still is the best show of the year.
Like I knew
Okay.
after like 4 episodes, I was like, moving I have like a little list on like my drama list. It's like my top 11 shows of the year, and I was just like moving it up the list every episode. Like
Have you guys been able to like wait for the 2 episodes
No.
every
Mm-mm.
week?
I wait
No.
because I really like watching too, but it's been really hard. And I tried this past week to wait to like closer to the weekend, so like I wouldn't be far, like the set of 4 wouldn't be that far apart. It is
It's
excruciating.
It's
It's so
impossible.
bad.
Like, I'm loving it, but in my heart, I'm like, damn, I wish I hadn't started watching this until it was all out so I could
I
like
know.
watch
But
it all at
I
once.
might make time like as soon as it's over to like
watch it again.
Oh,
Wow.
Jessie doesn't do that, to clarify
Oh,
for everyone.
yeah,
Like,
no.
You typically don't do that.
Like,
But yeah,
I'll join you, Jessie.
yeah, okay, we'll
I'll
do
join
that.
you with that.
And
we'll
then
do that together.
just know
Yeah.
that we will be doing a special spoiler episode on it for sure. Like,
Probably in January.
Yeah.
Probably in January.
Because it's a 12
Yeah.
episoder, I think. So
Yeah.
it's nearing its completion. So
Awesome.
now on to Jirisan.
Oh boy.
Sky and I have like side talked about Jirisan for a bit. I am caught up. Like as
So
of
am I,
like,
yeah.
what we're like I know that like an episode comes out tonight or whatever, but like
Yeah.
I am caught up. What do you say about Jirisan? It's not what I was expecting.
It does a
Uh-huh.
lot of things at the same time.
Yes.
And that is what it does.
It's a weird show because by all accounts I should have stopped watching it because a lot of it's not good.
No. A lot of it is
And I think go ahead.
I will say it's never when I say that, it is never acting. The acting is never a problem for me,
No.
at least. Like
No.
acting is typically believable within whatever they're given. It's more like the situations just kind of keep piling,
Mm-hmm. It just
and
I think
it doesn't know how realistic it's trying to be or not.
I think it's just getting garbled with the fact that like so I think the main problem with it is a plot driven show and not a character driven show, and you have 1,000 characters, not really 1,000, but they're all like supposedly characters that should be very big major characters, and we get backstories to no one really. Honestly,
And really, as far as development, do we really get development on anybody?
no. And so then that becomes a problem when you have this like serial killer plot, and it could be anyone, and the writers really loving playing the like, who is it going to be this person, is it not going to be this person. The problem is when you have zero knowledge of any character on the show, any character is plausible as a serial killer, and also it doesn't have an effect on you if they're a serial killer or not because they're a nobody character.
I keep looking at it like I've been watching a lot of stuff on Aishi lately, and I keep like it's always there, like as hey, you want to watch this? And I'm like, not today, maybe tomorrow, and then I never pick it back up. But this is not convincing me to go back.
It's kind of like, I don't know, watching a car wreck where you're just like, what happened? Like you're trying to figure it out. And like I am like invested in like figuring, like seeing what happened with everything. So I think that's been a driving force on it too, because I should hate it. I don't hate it. So
Okay.
there's that. It's just not good and messy. And there's a lot of things that she's trying to do to make it mysterious and throw you off when in reality it's not working, because we don't care about any of the characters because they're literally, all we know is that they work at the ranger station or something, or they're like one of the like 4 townspeople we see. I will say that this past week's episodes were great and started to develop a storyline. So I'm like kind of renewed interest in it, but like, I don't know.
I want to be invested before
They got to give
end.
you a reason to care, you know.
Yeah.
There needs to be a reason
Especially
to
with
invest
these,
your
like,
time.
high impact where people can die, you know, because they could die by a serial killer or by wildlife, you know.
So
And
like
they're-
make me care about the characters, care whether they die or not. Like a little.
I just need something. Like, I love mysteries because I love doing puzzle pieces and clues and stuff. When you're actively not giving me clues just to not carry on the thing, then like, what's the point of me trying to be here to find the mystery?
I mean, I'm fine with red herrings too when it comes to mystery things to a point, but you have to make me care. Just like there was kind of this recurring side character role, and when she showed back up again and became kind of central for a moment, Jessie and I both thought, oh, like there must be something up with this character for her to be like central to two large happenings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't seem like it. Just seemed like a random thing. There's no purpose to a lot of things that happen.
Yeah, the only purpose they're there is to fool you. And I understand that you need that in these types of shows, but when everyone's there and their only thing that they've ever done was fool you, like, because you don't have anything else, that's all you know of this character, it just is like, can we stop? Like, this is dragging.
And if the main thing we're looking for the serial killer is just black gloves, you gotta give me more than that, guys. You gotta give me more than black gloves.
Give me like actual reason, like why possibly, like, because right now, like, we don't even have enough.
And then they started doing another like level of flashback too. Like in the recent episodes, there's another level of time
within flashbacks.
It is. It's even further back flashback stuff, and they keep on doing that to tell a random side story that kind of has something to do with some stuff, but not enough to bring it up at this point in the game.
I will say that the past week's episodes where I had said that I thought they were like the best of what we've been seeing and kind of got me renewed interest on it. It's because they furthered the plot. So there was an actual thing. And so now we know kind of finally, maybe possibly why there's a serial killer on the mountain. But like before we hadn't gotten that. And it was like, it's really hard when you don't have anything. But yeah, it's just a mess that I can't look away from is essentially where we're at on that.
I also don't know how it's going to end, as in, okay, we'll eventually figure out like who the killer is, right? Blah, blah, blah. But like, okay, is then the end.
I'd be
like,
fulfilled with this killer reveal.
Like, that'll be the happy end. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just going to be.
I mean, I guess we're really not selling it, but really it is what it is.
There are aspects I enjoy.
Yeah.
There are. That, like I said, actually the acting is all very good. They bring up topics that are a thing, but I want to touch back on one thing. Well, I'm sure we will have a spoiler episode on it to say what the heckity heck about that show. But the thing, it likes to play with the mystical side of things, but it won't commit to it fully ever either.
No, the mystical thing is like a literal like second thought, and like honestly, like she shouldn't have even put it in. Like, it should have been spiritual, not mystical.
Yeah. The one thing it does well, I suppose, it does show like the seasons on the mountain, and like, so sometimes it's the forest fire that's the problem. Sometimes it's the gushing water that's the problem. So like showing how those things are dangerous and the things that the rangers have to do with that to prevent it, but also to inevitably fight that thing. The very realistic ways of doing that. So anyway, it does show those things. I haven't been mad at it as mad as when they were trying to, like, the first few episodes find somebody and it was like not as good. Or has it been bothering you on any level?
It actually hasn't.
I thought it's been okay on that. Yeah.
I was like, they're getting a little better, Oh well.
Oh well. The main entertaining part is to find a buddy to, like, after you watch it, be like, okay, what was that?
Excuse me, did you see this? Did you see this fuckery here?
What was this out loud because it's not making sense in my head. And so, like,
it's the kind of
on your set.
It's the kind of show that makes you think, am I missing something? Like, did I blink and miss the thing that was connecting the thing that we should probably be like?
And I've been thinking
putting
about
the plot
that,
like,
that. Maybe like this would be like, it would really work and you could see everything when it's like a binge, or like if I wasn't watching so many other dramas too. Like, is that the problem?
Anyway.
Yeah. Japan Sync, still watching that, still same same old, same old. I'm just going to continue watching it because it's just J-drama airing on Netflix. One Ordinary Day, I started watching that. It just premiered last week. So it was the first 2 episodes of that. I actually didn't really know much about it. So I had kind of researched it a bit. This is the one starring, what's his face from It's Okay to Not Be Okay? Kim Soo-hyun. Yes. He has the same exact Korean name as Claudia Kim. So now it's really hard for me. I found that out.
Curse
you know,
him. Curse him.
Lilo from Another Star, that kid.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who he is. He's not.
You mean the end of Miss Granny person?
Oh my god, no. The way I cackled and said this is unacceptable. I loudly said this is unacceptable. And my husband was like, what? I'm like, the fact that this band is in the last 5 minutes of this movie, this is unacceptable to me as a person.
I had to throw that in.
Just side note, you should be following us on Patreon if you want to join us for our wacky apparent picks on movie nights.
Boy, it's a mixed bag, my dear. Yeah. We have a good time.
So One Ordinary Day, it's a crime show. It is about a kid who makes a lot of wrong choices and wakes up to the girl he's had a one-night stand with dead beside him, obviously murdered. And so right now we're just at the setup. Like, it's like obviously just the setup, even though those episodes it's a very short series. It's only 8 episodes long and they are doing 2 a week. So it's going to be over very fast. But it is really good so far. And I was like, you know what? This kind of like, it's different. This is not like the other crime thriller Korean dramas that I've seen. And that's because it is a remake. And then I was like, now I see it. And the remake was a BBC show. And I was like, there it is. It's a British murder show. And I was like, okay, I get it.
Well.
It is a remake of a BBC show, Criminal Justice. It aired in 2008. And the premise of that series was that each season was going to focus on one person in the criminal justice system. I think it only got up to 2 seasons. However, the first season did really well. And I saw that it won a bunch of awards. So it had some hype. And I think the way that they did it was interesting when they did it. It was that it was only 5 episodes for the season and they aired on one every night. So like Monday through Friday or whatever it was. And so it was like this huge thing. So the Korean drama is a remake of that first season, but also in 2016, HBO picked it up to do a remake of it for the series The Night Of. If you've watched that, it is also a remake of that. So this is the 3rd iteration of this drama.
They must really dig that.
They like the story, man. They like the story.
It's good. It definitely feels like a Western crime show. It does not feel like a Korean crime show. And I was like, this is where we are. Again, we're only in the first bit of it, so we haven't gotten into it. I think even the storyline progresses that there's a reporter who's supposed to come in and play a vital role in this by, talking to him in jail or whatever. I think it'd be interesting to watch the other 2 as well. I haven't watched those other 2 shows. Just kind of see if the comparison. And then in saying that, if I were to make an educated guess, this show is probably closely following criminal justice. So I guess watch at your own risk. However, like, it might not be beneficial because it's like, if it's just gonna be a remake of the exact same thing, it might not be beneficial for you to watch it. But
unless you're a criminal justice fan person.
That's true.
Then
I like, and for me, like, I do think, we talked about like remakes and stuff in a past news episode, and there's just so much nuance on it. I do think it'd be interesting to watch all 3 of them and kind of compare and contrast what they were doing. It just seemed like the 2, because they're all like very short in episode numbers for the season, that they're going to try to be mindful of the original work. But I mean, he's doing a good job. If you like crime shows, I'm sure it's fine. Godspeed on your sailing. So I'm also watching I'm still watching Super Rich. I am up to date with that wherever it is. I think it's on like episode 8 or something. It's very close to the end of it. I also picked up a new show. It's called, it's a Japanese show. I'm gonna butcher it. Rinko-san wa shite mitai.
Every time I hit that last word, I'm like, is this shite? Rinko-san. So I'm gonna say Rinko-san. Yeah.
It's adorable.
Cute.
I didn't think I was gonna like it. I started watching it because it's literally being subbed almost exactly the same days and times and put out as Super Rich. So it was just there. So it was like Super Rich. That show.
Yeah. It was convenient. It was very conveniently.
I would say that if I were to give you a pathway, it's a little bit riskier version of Nei Sensei. I mean, it is Nei Sensei.
Kind of.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa there!
Whoa.
And so I've
version.
been not talking about it because I was trying to be really nice because it is like 25-minute long episodes week to week. And I didn't want you all to have to like be cruising with me week to week on this. It's very hard.
I'm gonna try to.
You were kind.
I appreciate. I'm gonna just wait. I'm gonna know that candy's waiting.
It might be 8 episodes. It might be 10 episodes. Various places say various things, so I don't know.
Yeah.
We're on. I think episode 6 just aired.
Yeah,
but it's not
I think 5
subbed.
is what's up subbed right now.
It is very cute. It's about a story about this girl who's a wedding planner, and in Japan they do it different. It's like a full company who there's just a bunch of wedding planners at the company, and they essentially work as workers. So it's not like she's just like an owner of a business, but she's very uptight and professional, and she's like regarded by everybody because she like is like seems perfect, and she's a virgin, and so she decides that she can't live with it weighing on her mind. So
she's like afraid that if the brides find out I'm a virgin, they won't want me to be their wedding planner anymore because I don't know what I'm talking about. And you're like,
that makes no
sense.
sense.
I don't think it has anything to do with
but
the
you can
flowers.
tell she's like, she's that way about everything. She wants to be perfect about everything. And so she ends up like going out with a coworker of hers and to initiate a one night stand. And she kind of freaks and is like, oh my God, I'm a virgin. And to him, and he's incredibly sweet and kind about it, and he then becomes the teacher, her friend with benefit teacher.
But he's a virgin too. This is the thing, because he's a virgin, and then she says, oh, I'll take your virginity, and she's all like, yeah, baby, I'll take you. And then like when it actually starts happening, she's like, whoa, stop, I'm a virgin. And he's like, okay, like I don't. She's like, nah, I gotta go home and do some crunches and shave my legs. Like, but so if she gets like embarrassed by something, or like if something happens where she's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to do this with this guy, she will go to him. Like if she feels very confident. And he is very sweet. He is not using her at all. He's a very safe person in this whole thing. Like it really isn't like you shouldn't be worried about him.
You love to see it. You love to see it.
So yeah, I was like about it in the beginning. Because it's definitely not like a rom-com. It's more of a romance drama than it is a comedy. It's just a little bit lighter because it's a little fluffier, and also obviously it's for like mid-20s kids, like that sort of thing. But like by episode 3, I was like, oh, I really like this. I really like this a lot. So here we are. I shouldn't have watched it. I should have waited. So it was a binge. These like 25 episode dramas are terrible.
They get you. They're painful. They're painful.
But I have no doubt if you like Nei Sensei that you wouldn't find this as charming. It's the same level.
And if you have no idea what Nei Sensei is, you should watch it, and then you should listen to our episode that we did.
Yeah, we have a spoiler episode
because we love that show. It's a favorite of the whole podcast. So,
and then finally, very quickly, I'm sorry, I've been taking up a lot of time. I don't know why I'm watching it, but here I am. There's this little web drama with the kids from Treasure, the K-pop group, called The Mysterious Class. And
Oh.
Well, I know why you're
apparently-
watching it.
I
It looked horror vibey. I know why you're watching it.
Well, yeah, I know why I started it, but I don't know why I'm still here. Is what I'm trying to tell you. It is horror vibe, but it's not. It is like just like I'm sure I'm missing out on like 95% of it because I can literally like not even tell you a single name of the group. I can't tell you a single song. I don't personally listen to any of their songs, but I'm here. It was pitched as like a show like the Whispering Corridors series. It's definitely not a horror. I mean, it's a horror because you don't have to be scary to be horror classified, but it's not scary horror. It's literally like someone in the group is a ghost and they're trying to find out who the ghost is. It's there. It's 14 minutes long, 10 minutes long episodes, and
it exists as a thing.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. You can search it and find it. I'm pretty sure it's on like YG's main thing or something, or their main YouTube. If you didn't know it was happening and you're like a fans of Treasure or passing fans of Treasure, there you go. I told you about it. There's just so many of them too.
There are a lot of those kids.
So many of them. There was like one part where they're like in the stairwell and it's the entire group, and I was like, oh god, there's a lot of you. There's a lot of you here. It's goofy and silly, and it's like honestly, like I would say the level is for preteens. Like it's that level.
Oh, okay.
Like,
yeah.
Are You Afraid the Dark is like 1,000 times scarier.
Okay.
But, you know, it's there. That's what it is. That's all I've been watching. I tried to watch a couple of other things. I really wanted one of those 2 p.m. boys dramas to click, and none of them did. So, oh well, it happens.
What are you gonna do? It happens.
Yeah.
So before I start, my next door neighbors have 2.5-year-old twins, and it apparently is bath time as we're recording this because all I hear is chaos. So if you hear something, no, you didn't. Okay, like it's just toddler chaos in another apartment of a poorly built building with thin walls. Okay, we're just going out there. So getting into what I've been watching. Happiness, obviously, we already talked about it. The best thing on this list. So it's only downhill from here. So I recently very quickly finished finally watching Squid Game, but I'm not going to say much about it because if you stay tuned later in the month, there might be a full-length episode about it. So
and
is
a yes.
It might be. I mean, there definitely will be on the 23rd of December. So a little Christmas treat just for y'all. Spoiler. It was fine. I liked it. You'll hear all about it. So I have been watching and very much enjoying Secret Royal Inspector Enjoy, which has Taecyeon from 2 p.m. and the girl from Extraordinary You in it. And it is a Sega comedy.
Sure is.
So,
wow,
yeah,
it is comedy.
It is a comedy. There is like the usual Sega like political intrigue and like murder and stuff, but it is at its heart a comedy.
I think Diablo is literally tapped in.
Yeah, Matthew, my husband just came and grabbed my dog who was behind me, like tippity tapping.
Oh yeah, let's go! It's my time to shine.
Like he was rearing up to bark very loudly behind me. I could hear him. So very quickly, so it follows Taecyeon, who's like a nobleman who really just wants to be a cook. But his grandmother made him take the like imperial exam, and he scored so highly that he's now like forced into like government service. And because all of his coworkers are kind of dinks, he gets made a secret royal inspector and gets sent like to just, the ass end of nowhere to like do secret inspections on things. And he gets embroiled with a woman who is trying to get a divorce from her terrible husband, who's the main female lead, and it just then they get involved in conspiracies, and all the while he's just like, I just wanted to like eat some delicious food, and he has like these two servant guys who follow him everywhere, and they're just a delightful, over the top. There's some stupid cross-dressing that goes on. They're everything. It's got everything. Okay, it's a real, like, to quote like Stefan, like, it has everything. It's got all the tropes. Like, if that's what you like, which is one of the things I like, you'll like this.
I just want to say it is comedy heavy. So how for Saegooks I do tend to go to the light ones, the light fluffy ones. I don't know if it's that. It's definitely I watched the first 2 episodes, and it was just
the
really
vibes continue. The
comedy
vibes continue.
Heavy, and I pretty much am probably tapping out. Is what I ended up learning.
Listen, you know me, I can watch anything. Like, and I'm like, I'm pretty. I will say this: there's like a character that appears after the first couple episodes, who I assume is going to be the main villain of the show, and I have never consciously seen this actor before or noticed him before, but he is doing an excellent job at being the villain. Definitely needed more hugs as a child, this character. But he plays like an illegitimate son of like a high up politician, so like yeah, you know how it is.
I think what got me was just it's comedy heavy, but it does the whole, there are moments where it's like, obviously intrigue and death and even mourning. So when the main character was mourning, but then pretty much the next flip that around, and all of a sudden the little servants were being goobers or what. I was like, wow, that was a quick flip right there.
Yeah, it's definitely like a sitcom of a Saegook. Yeah. So like it is over the top silly, which I think Taecyeon enjoys doing, and he looks like he's having a good time. So
he looks like he's having fun, and she looks like she's having fun too.
Having a fantastic time. So
he's been posting a lot on Instagram, and they both seem to, or even the entire cast had seemed like they're having a really great time on cast.
Yeah, it seems like a fun show to be a part of. Like it's like a real ensemble cast. It's fun. I have also finished watching from 5 to 9, and let me tell you,
and I finished that too.
Japan does just there's like this certain genre of romance that Japan does quite a bit. The only thing I can say is it's romance that makes me think, oh, they're gonna break up in like 6 months after this show is over. And this
I haven't watched that show, but I've literally watched that show in condensed versions on YouTube years ago, because it has the trifecta for me on actors.
It's the cast is delightful, and it is like it's a fun show to watch. But
I'm only about halfway, maybe a little bit more than halfway.
That's why I've never picked it up. I'm like, I'm good enough with the clips I saw on YouTube.
When it's good, it's really cute, and when there are things that you're like, oh.
I will say the secondary couple, which is like 2 of her coworkers. One of them is like a total fujoshi, so like she's like really into like BL.
And she's embarrassed about that.
And she's like, she tries to hide it, and then like the suave, like sexy dude who's into her, who's from Absolute Boyfriend.
Yep.
They are the best. They are the best couple on the show.
They're so cute,
so funny, because like, I enjoyed them the most. I will.
And then there's a little boy monk, and he's super
so cute. He is very
cute. He is very adorable.
But it's got like a lot of tropes that I just like roll my eyes at, probably because I've just been watching so many shows. And it's got my main one, which is just like, what is this grandmother's problem with her?
Oh,
she's not that bad.
No.
But anyway, it's got the classics. It's got it all.
It is very much like you're watching it and you're like, it's cute, it's funny, it's cute. he's really stalking her though, and it's maybe not okay. She has given him a hard no
many times.
Like,
Yeah.
But did I binge the heck out of that thing?
Yeah, I watched it all in one day.
I think everybody does on that one.
It's like one of those where you watch it recognizing that like this is a very problematic, like unhealthy relationship, but I'm gonna enjoy it anyway. I'm gonna put that in the back of my mind and say this is fiction, not reality, so I can still enjoy what I am watching because this is painful in some parts.
And it's also how the heck is she finally gonna be okay with stalker monk guy? Like how on earth is she finally gonna turn a corner?
like objectively not the best option in any stretch of the imagination.
But Yami P, who's the male lead in that, they just announced that he is doing the remake of Architecture 101. And it's going to be on Netflix.
Interesting. So taking my list into a completely opposite direction, I am currently
curvy roads.
I am currently watching probably the most soap opera of soap operas that has ever existed. And shout out to friend of the show, Beth, because she is also watching it with me. And we are both trying to recruit other people to watch it so they can experience the horror as we witness it, because it is both terrible, but it is also incredibly fun. So it's one of those shows where you're like, oh my God, this is so over the top stupid. But at the same time, you're like, next episode, please. And that is the 50 episode opus. That is Young Lady and Gentleman, which is living in my head rent free at the moment. Which follows a widower, a 41-year-old widower who has 3 kids. So he hires this young woman who's like 25 to be like the nanny, the live-in nanny.
Yeah, you introduced it last time.
Yeah, okay. Every week you think this can't jump the shark again. Every week it's got all the tropes. It
was, I think 2 weeks ago I put it on hold. I was like, no, I just can't.
I'm
anymore.
like in it to win it with this show. I cannot stop myself. I guess passionate about this show.
The question, like, how far you get along a show like that, and then you have to be committed to finishing it because you put in so much time with it.
I'm 20 episodes in now. There's no way I'm stopping.
Right.
Like, I'm obsessed with this show. I'm obsessed with this show. Like, I knew I would enjoy it because I often do enjoy. It's one of those shows that you can enjoy so long as you're not expecting it to be good. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're just expecting it to be what it is.
Yeah.
Which is an over-the-top soap opera with every soap opera trope you've ever seen in your life. And I'm talking every soap opera trope you've ever seen in your life. Like we've got it all. We've got amnesia. We've got terrible mother-in-laws.
Bring out that checklist.
We've got birth secrets.
It's whole bingo card in itself.
It's got it's to code stuff on it.
And then like multiples of it. Like
is there murder?
Not yet.
Not yet. But like, listen.
I would not put it past some of them characters.
There are crimes going on, not murders, and they're not really being treated like crimes, but there are definitely crimes going on in this show.
It's so wild, and it's
quite
like
bad
multiple.
ones, but
like there's multiple adoption stories and like multiple like birth circular.
There's a mistress. It's got it all.
Some of the characters are really cute and really good.
Okay, and I must say, like the one playing the youngest little kid, like
oh my God.
I think he's supposed to be like an 8-year-old. He is the cutest thing. Like he is so cute, and like I think he was hired for his ability to just put out big tears when he cries over things, just big dramatic like. Because
somebody told me, and I didn't double check it, but he played the daughter in Hi Bye Mama. So. Which apparently he was also very, very good in that.
He's adorable. The kids are really great. Like the relationship between the main couple is, well, right now it's sort of in like a weird place, but like as it was developing, it was quite nice. And it is like an age gap romance or whatever, but it's like not creepy or anything. Like everyone's an adult, so it's not weird. I promise you, it's not weird. Okay,
Yeah,
I know
like,
there's some people
we
out there,
talked about before about how they did meet when she was like 12 or something,
but that is not relevant to the story
like
whatsoever.
They just later realized that was them, and they're like, oh, that's
funny.
so weird. But like they never saw each other again since that moment.
Yeah, so it's not creepy. Like the main dude is not creepy. There's all sorts of stuff. There's also like a Nuna romance. Like it's got everything. Okay. So if you're looking for everything over the top, Young Lady and Gentleman might be the one for you. Taking it over to Japan, I'm currently watching 2 Japanese shows, besides 5 to 9. These are my currently airing stuff that I'm doing. I'm watching one called Keita Hatsukoi, or My Accidental Love Mix-Up, I think is the English title. If you like character, like a character who just absolutely goes over dramatic at every single inconvenience, you are going to love this show, because the main character on this, just like anytime something minorly goes wrong, his whole being just crumbles, and it's hilarious. It's in a good way. Like the actor it's based on a manga, and the actor knew the assignment. You know what I mean? Like, so it's sort of over the top emotional, but then played up against his romantic interest, who is like the perfect straight man. Like, just like, okay, calm, just chill out. So the basic plot is a guy, to protect his female, friend, his lady friend, they're in high school. So she has written like I love and then name on an eraser that he borrows, and then the guy whose name it is picks up the eraser and thinks it's his, so he doesn't want to like confess for his friend, so he then pretends that, yes, I am the one who has a crush on you, but then realizes the guy's a really good guy and actually does develop a crush on him. So anyway, it's so good. It's like a real slice of life style sort of thing. It's a delight. Also, my watch of Yankee and the White Cane Girl continues. We stan a disability advocate. That is basically what the male character is becoming on this show. It is so good. It's like you are learning all the problems that blind people face. And I think this show is great. I think it is great. I wish it were not taking a rowboat to find it, if you know what I mean.
Always the worst.
Hopefully it will appear somewhere
Yeah.
at some point. It also updates really slowly. So like, I don't know what's, anyway. But if you have the opportunity to watch it, I totally recommend it so far. Like it goes into, like, even recently, this last episode goes into like, sort of how blind people can be taken advantage of by, their partners and stuff. And it's just like, but it's all done in like a very accessible way, so it doesn't feel too heavy, but anyway, excellent show, very funny, very just refreshing. Now finally we take it on to Thailand, because I'm watching 2 Thai shows at the moment. They're both on YouTube, free to watch, so that's super fun. The first one is Baker Boys, which is the remake of Antique Bakery. It is.
We have an episode on.
We do have an episode on Antique Bakery. I gotta say, it's cheesy and silly. Singto always brings it. Like he put way too much effort into what this show is putting out, and he's doing the most as the gay patisserie. It's fine, you know what I mean? If you like GMM shows, you'll probably like this show. And then I'm also watching Bad Buddy, the series. This show is so much better than it should be. Like, I don't even understand how this show is so good. the basic plot is sort of like a Romeo and Juliet type thing, where it's two families that like the parents hate each other to like an almost comedic level, like over the top hatred of each other. And we don't really know why at the moment, but they have like two sons that are the same age and sort of tried to raise the sons to like constantly be competing and hating each other too. But of course that has not really worked out because their sons are now in university together in like two different, and one's in architecture and one's in engineering, and the architecture and the engineering department hate each other, but they don't actually hate each other at all. In fact, they're kind of in love with each other, but like can't really do anything because their families are so fucking insane and their, you know, departments are insane. And it's just that the actor playing the guy in architecture, Nanon, is killing this
so good
role. He is, because he's like the serious one, because you know, one's like a goofy, like outgoing, blah blah blah, and the other one's this, you know, the fun one, the straight man, you know, the usual dichotomy, right? But he's like, he's internalized being in love with this dude for years, whereas the other dude's just like kind of finding out, oh wait, I'm not in love with you. Oh, this is great. It's really good. You can watch it for free. It is up to, I think episode 6 just came out.
I think so, yeah.
I think there's probably 12 episodes. That's usually how these shows
10 or 12
go.
usually.
It's on YouTube. It is so much better than it should be.
I started late, so I haven't fully caught up yet. I think I'm on 4 right now. But yeah, like you guys were talking about it all the time. And then Sarah Reese Brennan started you know, tweeting about it and stuff, and I was like, all right, finally I'm gonna give this. It's so good, it's so cute, and Nanon's so good with like the micro expressions, right? Like the like little subtle smirks out of the corner of his face, like I'm trying not to laugh at you, but you're too funny and too cute.
We're supposed to be enemies,
yeah,
but we're not enemies, you know. And then there's like, you know, all these things where it's like they have to pretend to hate each other, but like they're also trying to prevent their friend groups from getting into fist fights, so they'll be like texting each other like, hey, we're here, don't come here, like
which is apparently like, a real thing in Thailand. Like apparently engineering students and architecture students have beef, like all over Thailand, and like every university they hate each other's guts. It's a real thing.
It's fucking wild.
So whenever they always see each other, they always have to start snapping and stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
no,
it's literally the Sharks and the Jets, except like there's not even like, it's literally like they are trying to murder each other. It's fucking wild. I do not understand why. Like
that's crazy.
No, like, there's no.
And then of course they're like forced to work together for like a university project, and it's all, you know, it's all a big, anyway, it's a really good, like I was not expecting the show to be good. I'm going to be 100% honest. When I got into this, I was like, okay, this is gonna be another like dumb stupid little show. No, it's like, it's touching my heart, y'all, and it shouldn't be touching my heart, but it is. So yeah, that's basically what I've been watching. I did rewatch My Engineer, but I don't want to talk about it. It was a low moment for old Natalia there. It's just those stupid dogs. If you know, you know. Okay, Amanda, what have you been watching?
Let me see. What have I been watching? Okay, I'm watching From 9 to 5. I'm watching Rinko-san. I'm rewatching King's Avatar because my 10-year-old and I started reading the book and we're loving it. And he's like, hey, we should watch the show again. So we are. And it's kind of nice this time because he can actually read the subs, because, you know, he reads fast enough for that now. So it's not, last time I was watching it, he kept trying to watch it with me and would like, so what are they saying now, Mom? What are they saying now? What's going on now? Hey, what's going on? I was like, okay, well, stuff is happening, and I missed most of it because you were asking me questions. So it's better this time. We're still quite enjoying it. So I'm also watching Gank Your Heart, which is on Aishi with subs that are reasonable, and timed properly, and all the reasons why I put it on hold before are not
Always
there.
nice.
So yeah, like, man, I watched the first like 2.5 episodes subbed on a different streaming service, and they were all off by one segment. So
that drives
it
me
was
nuts.
very,
I
that scene in Singing in the Rain with the yes, no, whatever. And it's very much that. And it was so hard to follow. It was so annoying. So anyway, Ashi has it done properly and professionally, and that's lovely. So I'm watching that. I'm enjoying it. It's cute. It's esports. Yeah. Enjoy it while you can.
You're e-sporting it up, aren't you?
I am. So I don't know. Somebody on the timeline said the other day, like, enjoy it while you can, because with the way China is cracking down on video gaming and stuff.
No.
And I was like, oh crap. They're like, esports dramas are gonna go. And I'm like, dang it.
Well, listen.
Do you think they'll poof them?
I wouldn't be surprised. For a few years, we're probably going to have an esport dry spell, like esport drama dry spell. I was meaning
the ones that exist. Are they at risk of being poofed, you think?
I don't think so, because they're probably licensed for several years in advance. So
well, but like a governmental like entity could probably kill them, license, especially if they're trying to, like, if their focus is to get kids not to play esports, they could make the case that those would.
Well, I don't think they care so much outside of China if people play esports. So
yeah,
true. So I mean, you might just see no new ones coming, and probably something like King's Avatar that's on Netflix is probably good, at least until that license dries up. So who knows how long they have it licensed for, but
we're now
just in case, you might want to go catch them all while you can, kids.
I'm putting this out there that other countries, now is your chance to jump in on the esports drama game.
Yes.
Take
that free money.
I mean, every single esports drama, the main story is about how the whole world looks down on China because they aren't good at esports.
Yes, China being bad at esports. That's
all these other countries have really good esports teams, so they could come up with some esports dramas now too. I would say Gank Your Heart falls kind of in that middle of them. Like, it's not a top one for me, but it's definitely not a bottom one either. I've seen worse. So this is good, and it's got pretty reasonable in-game stuff and whatnot. So it's cute. It's esports. Yay, sports. I'm watching Inspector Coup. I started watching that with my sister. It's very good. We're very, very behind right now because kids and life, and we can't always get together and watch it. But it's a little bit stressful for me. Like it's got a bit of an intensity to it, which is weird because you know who the killer is. Like, it's very obviously she's the main character. And you're watching it all unfold, and you're seeing it from her perspective and stuff as well. So it's got very, very BBC Sherlock vibes to it. So you've got your female Sherlock character. Her Watson is an adorable kid that she met through gaming, like online gaming, and she got hired
saying that this might be an esports drama is what
it has its moments. So
that is crime esport drama.
Yeah, basically that's
that
how
pairing, but okay.
her friend from like Police Academy or something works for an insurance company now, and she's got this big case of this guy who died in an accident, and he had a big insurance policy, but his daughter has massive medical bills, so they're suspicious that he may have killed himself in order for his wife and child to have the payout. And they know that Inspector Coup, always sees stuff, so like they want her to go do it, and she's like, nah, I don't do anything anymore. I'm an alcoholic, and I just sit in my room and drink beers and play video games. So no. So they basically bribe her with, they clean her apartment and buy her a top of the line gaming computer, but like lock it in a cage so she can't turn it on unless she agrees to do this like one thing for us. And they're like, and we'll get you a driver. And she's like, I could drive myself. And she's like, you can't even remember the passcode to your own house and you're drunk all the time. You're not driving. Like, you need a driver, we'll assign one. She's like, it has to be someone I trust. And she gets on her computer and like calls up her gaming buddies. Hey, who wants a job driving me around? And one of them's like, I'll do it. Sure. So he's silent. He only speaks through like a text to talking app on his phone, which is unusual, but it's cute. Oh my goodness. I can't remember whatever Sherlock's brother's name is in the BBC one. I can't remember. Anyway, that kind of
Why do I
character
not remember?
is played by everybody's like favorite mom. Like, she was like the mom in Father Strange and stuff, but she's this like badass. Is she a gangster? Is she a government official? She's got a big old tattoo in the middle of her back.
My favorite part about this entire thing is watching Sky melt down, trying to figure out, and then like figuring it out. That was just a great play, a silent like play that was going on in the little corner of my screen. So funny.
Mycroft home.
Mycroft,
oh my
there it is. Yeah.
Mycroft, Jesus.
So, you know, that very common name that we all just say all the time.
I don't remember anybody's name, so I'm no use of anyone.
So, but yeah, so she's sort of involved too, because she has realized that somebody is killing people, a lot of people, and nobody has caught onto it because they all look like accidents and they're all completely unrelated people. And there's no reason for these to be murders, but she's pretty sure they're murders. So, hey, you solved this weird insurance thing. I want you to solve these ones too. And she's like, oh, how many could it be? Clunk, here's a huge pile of like mysterious accidents that nobody's investigated over the last however long. And then you've got your Moriarty, who is a girl that Inspector Koo met when she was in high school, who she only kills bad people, but her definition of bad is somewhat loose. So it's, you know, some of them you kind of like, yeah,
sounds cool. I might have to pick it up.
I'm really enjoying it. The soundtrack is phenomenal. The acting is so good. It's weird because it's funny, but like not wrong funny. Like, it's not like he like slapsticky funny. It's like just has those comedic moments that it
periodic
should have.
Situational comedy.
Yeah. I picked up School 2021. I'm not sure I'm going to keep it. It's very good. It's about woodworking students. So it's about a high school, like a trade school. Basically. And the main male character was, he was there for sports. So it's like sports and trades, I guess. So he was there for Taekwondo. He hurt his ankle. And even though he's healed up now, he's not going back because he knows, and the coach knows, that he doesn't really have a future in Taekwondo. So he's not going to embarrass himself by going back or trying to go back, but he misses it. He misses the team. He misses all that stuff. So now he's in woodworking, and the female lead is super into woodworking. She wants to be a carpenter. This is her goal in life. This is her dream. She's very, very good at it. She's very good at things. Her mother is a teacher and is like disappointed. Why don't you want to go to university and get a real job? And like,
woodworking is a real job for any child out there.
Yeah.
The trades are real jobs.
Where is
exactly.
she?
And that's what she's
in a house. Guess what built that house?
Thousands and thousands of dollars on a university education that I don't want to use. That doesn't make any sense. Like, just so she and her mother have beef with each other, and you know, all this stuff. And then the second episode ended in such a way that I like, up until then I was like, oh, it's kind of a fluffy, like, yes, there's difficulties because there has to be something, right? So like this beef with her mom, but it's just going to be kind of cute, and the kids are cute and everything. If you're new to dramas and you've never watched a school series drama, these are the dramas that give us the new up and comers and the future stars. So expect that you will see many of these actors and actresses in other stuff over the next few years. So, it's a chance to get in on the ground floor of fandom. So
but only if you're ready for it with certain topics.
Yeah. I'm watching Bad Buddy and New World. I don't usually watch variety shows, but like I'm so obsessed with this one. And my 10-year-old, the one that's watching King's Avatar with me, happened to walk through the room like halfway through episode 3. And I didn't think he was paying attention at all. And it ended and he's like, so are we watching the next episode? And I was like, yes. And we watched number 4. He's like, so how many episodes is there? I said, well, that's it, man. Like, it's currently airing. You got to wait. How long? Like a week. You got to wait a week. And he's like, what?
Mad. He didn't know. But he didn't know how it used to be.
Yeah.
He didn't know how it was in our youth.
I mean, we're struggling and we know how it used to be. Come on.
Listen, we should be better than this, but we're not.
But especially a show like that, like, you wish they just released that whole season.
Yeah. It's kind of neat because it's done in like days. So it's like day 1, day 2.
Are there gonna is it shooting for 6 episodes? Do we know?
I can't remember if it was 6 or 8, something like that. And it was, but I don't know. He's very excited to watch the next episode, which I think is out today, and I haven't watched yet. But
8 episodes.
Okay.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, I mean, the premise of this is that you've got 6 celebrities who are on this gorgeous island. They each have their own house that's suited to their needs. And then they like do stuff to earn the money to like live on the island. And
yeah, so I'm not even done with episode 1. I just started it before we recorded, but like it's really fun. It's adventure-y.
It's so fun. Yeah,
it's essentially Busted minus murdery.
Yeah, and it's very like, so yeah, there's games and there's little like clever things and there's like a plot. There's a lot of things in the first episode that they set up, so it's and for the little games and for the stuff, and then it'll be like, they'll have
later on
trivia or something, and it's like, how well were you paying attention when you took your little tour? And then people are like, hey, hang on, I've heard that word before, and they'll run off and do stuff. So it's like, it's Kai and Heechul and Lee Seung-gi and Nara and
Nare, yeah,
Nare,
and then the chick from Tell the Nine-Tailed, the actress. And then I honestly don't know what the other variety actors from. Like
I don't know either, but apparently he's in a lot of variety stuff. So because that's, everybody keeps like, we gotta watch out for Seung-gi and this other guy because like they know what they're doing.
He seems to know what he's up to. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's amusing.
I thought what was charming about it, because all these variety shows, well, a lot of variety shows, they'll have pre-interviews when they're crafting the show, you can tell. And so they'll ask like opinions from who's going to play in the show. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of these times people think they're just kind of shooting the breeze. Like, what would you like your house to look like? And so they kind of just like daydream, right? Well, they made the houses exactly to spec. Like, you wanted environmentally friendly and a view of the ocean, you get environmentally friendly and a view of the ocean. You wanted maroon walls, you get maroon walls. Like, they went down the list. So that was it's pretty cute in the first episode when they are seeing wherever they're going to be living. It's like, oh wow, they followed like everything I said.
Yeah, it's cute. And I mean, of course, shenanigans. So many shenanigans. So
yeah,
as they do. So
the pacing, at least episode 1, very quick. The pacing
Yeah.
has been very quick.
It's a little weird because I do find the cutoff spots are weird, like because the way they try to do like a day or something, but then one of the episodes, the mission takes place at like 2 a.m. So like you kind of think you're at the end of the episode, but then it's not because that day is not over yet and stuff. Like so there's some stuff. But yeah, I mean, I didn't start until there was 4 episodes out, and then I just, you know how Netflix does, it just keeps starting. So at one point I was like, I don't even know where I am anymore, what day it is, what's going on, but whatever, I'll just watch until there's nothing left to watch. So
one thing I do want to say about it was like there's a little AI announcer person in it, and his name is Holo, which I wondered if it was related to the My Holo Love.
That's what I wondered too when they named that. I was like,
it was
hang on,
probably because it's Netflix, right? So
yeah.
And they love to do the Netflix in a drama.
They
love it.
It sounds a lot like him too. And so I went quick to MBL. I was like, where's his name? Where is it? And of course they don't. I'm like, crap. Well, I have no idea if it's really him or not, but it sure, I was like, sounds like him. I'm going to pretend like they did that little end thing just for people who watched that.
Was the person you were talking about that like everybody was like, you need to watch the Cheese guy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. Because he seems not like conniving, but like, right. I guess I just didn't recognize him because I didn't go research it yet since I was only watching that first episode.
I just wanted to know because I didn't know if it was like a variety. I mean, like he's done variety, of course, but like a variety person or.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, yeah. I had no idea watching it. I was like, I don't know what this guy's from, but he amuses me. So
he's also
they
in
all do.
The Reply series.
Yeah.
The 97. Oh. Which is very funny because it's like perfect because there's it's about idol groups, like so it's just like a funny little thing, and the entire thing, and they never like address it because obviously he's playing not his character, he's playing a character like just one of the friend group, but it's always so funny. You're like sitting there, you're like, they're like talking about like people who are obsessed with these idol groups, and you got like one of the like founding members.
Yeah. So yeah, it's fun. It's cute. It's good stuff.
The last thing I was gonna say about that, it feels very bingeable. So knowing that episode, it's only to episode 4 and it's gonna go to episode 8, I might have to slow down on my intake on it. Because another aspect I do want to draw out of it is they're liking to use CGI a lot. Mm-hmm. They're trying to make it seem like an in-person video game to some respect, to where something will kind of pixelize into existence, which of course, that's not really occurring, but they try to make it look like that's how something all of a sudden showed up. So it's kind of charming in that way, so that's kind of the mechanic they're trying to go with that. And of course, Keachel loves gaming. So he likes to, if I was gaming, I'd be blah, blah, blah. So he uses that logic and goes and does that. So it's just, it's all fun.
And he got like, so there's like the characters that live and work on the island, and Keachel calls them NPCs all the time because they basically are. So
and they recognize their chef, and he's like, "No, you don't know me." It's like, "Oh right, we don't know you."
Later, there's a
got it.
They introduce this
so much.
Bank. There's a bank, and there's like a bank manager, and he's a very recognizable actor. And when he shows up, everyone's like, "Ah!" And he's like, "Yes, I am a very famous banker." Like, yeah.
See, and to me, it's pretty much busted because that happens all the time. Busted,
So it's you mentioning the CGI thing. My 10-year-old,
I'm sure he loved that.
He saw something and he went like, "Is that real? Did that really happen?" And I was like, "No, that's a special effect that they added in afterwards." He's like, "Well, these people are very good actors." Oh, you're cute, kid. So
it seems like a great one to like watch with someone that age. Like,
he's very into the shenanigans and the cheating and the
busted. I would say no. Busted is not good for that young, because it was once in a while a little gruesome for someone that young.
Yeah.
What else I'm watching? I will say we all watched Miss Granny for our Patreon movie recently, and we kind of talked about that earlier. We don't have to go into it, but we do not really recommend it, is what we will say. We will all
Except
say
that
that.
if you go anywhere, it's high ratings and everybody loves it. I don't
get it.
It is what it
It
is,
makes me want to find the most recent remake and to see if they fixed anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
did you still totally approach it this way? Because wow, that is commitment.
It
You're
missed
still
a
doing
lot
that.
of marks. A lot of marks.
So the reason it's on Netflix, so it might be showing up on your stuff. So if you wish to watch that, proceed with caution is mostly what we're saying.
Yeah. Not get this Nuna's stamp of approval.
So to go over what we already talked about Jirisan a lot. Sorry. We already covered Secret Royal Inspector Joy. I think I'm gonna probably drop it unless I just get in a mood to where I want to be super comedy. Once in the blue moon, I do feel like that. So you never know. I watched from 5 to 9. I really did enjoy it. You know, I enjoy it enough to binge the heck out of it. So that was the thing.
Did anybody actually say it's on Viki? Just so you know.
Yeah, we're not.
Yes, it is
that's
on-
not a
it is
high
on
seas
Viki.
kind of.
It's something
situation.
that's very accessible right now. So
Yeah, and that's very much the first time or two I saw it trying to be presented to me on Viki. I'm like, no, I'm watching other stuff.
Yeah.
No. And one day I was like, crap. Well, I'm watching.
And I will
that.
say it's a fairly old drama too. So don't go into it thinking that this is brand new. It's just
It
everybody's
stars-
watching it because it's on a platform that you can watch it on
like
now.
did it just show up on Viki? Is that
Yes.
okay? Because
Literally
it was
within
sort of
a
like
month
all
or
of a
something.
sudden everybody's watching it, and I was like,
they're putting they're putting up
it is.
Japan newer releases. So
Yeah.
then you're like, you look at the premise and you're like, okay.
I think
stars
the drama
the-
fever licenses are like going.
Really
going
letting
in.
up. Yeah,
Everybody's like yoink.
but yeah, it is definitely, it has that 2015 rom-com feel to it. So yeah.
Another aspect is that the main female character, she really wants to go to New York, and so she's an English teacher. Like, it was just an interesting. A lot of the office stuff is just within a building where it's a school to teach English to
Which is
various.
really funny because the male lead, he does this really great, and you can find it on YouTube. He does this Japanese variety show where he gets like Japanese like actors and actresses and variety people, and they have to see if they can beat Siri on English words. It's hilarious because he's like fluent in English too. And it's just like so good. It's like one of my favorite things to watch when I'm feeling down. I'm like, I'm gonna just go search for that.
You'll have to link it in our blog post thing so people can watch it. I think I kind of binged. It was a while back though. It was pretty much right after our last episode doing this, but Fall in Love with a Scientist with Jasper.
Oh.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Rom-com.
Yep, it is.
It is,
And
what
it is really trying to sell scientists are good beings who more people need to be scientists.
It is indeed. It is selling that.
Pair that
That's
with
what
twice
it's
as
doing.
like newest comeback, and there you go.
I mean, parts of it are interesting or whatever. I did find it made me wonder, and I did not go look hard about when it was filming, because they didn't mention a thing about COVID until the very last episode, and then they leaned super heavy into it. Like suddenly, boom, like that's all it became about. So like it really took me by surprise, because that's of course not the show that you were sold at all. So it made me wonder, it would just be interesting to know like how far along they got for them to still have all the actors. And it made you wonder, like, I don't know. It makes you wonder if they had a different ending and then crud happened and then, oh, let's change it, or what are we going to do? So I do want to say, I actually really liked that last episode a lot, the way they handled a lot of those things. They made scientists seem very heroic at the end with that and stuff. But you know what? A lot of it was very charming because, you know, there were a couple shenanigans involved in that, but then all of a sudden they wanted to have an in-life party and couldn't. So you would have people on screens. I mean, that's very realistic in what we're currently living in too. So, and I don't know if they ever said the word COVID, but they definitely said virus, and they said Wuhan a lot. So I mean, it was very interesting how it was handled, but I thought it was handled pretty well, and it made me tear up a lot. I thought that was like the best part of the whole show. The premise of the show was essentially people who met through a chatting app a long time ago and got along well, but then kind of fell out of communication for various reasons. But then, of course, they meet in person without knowing, but then he figures out, and then, of course, keeps it from her for way too long. You know, the typical.
As
But
you
like
do.
in the defense of this show, he knows he let it go too long. And that's part of his anxiety, is that he let it go too long and he knows he fucked up.
But then he keeps waiting longer because he knows he messed up. Like,
yeah,
It's a snowball effect. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
it happens. I mean,
yeah, so it was all a thing. I thought it was decently charming for what it was, especially, you know, I don't necessarily love science-y shows, so like I was still watching it. So there you go. I did watch a movie called The Suspect for our GOG episode. Go listen to our GOG episode. It is really cool and people seem to enjoy it. Hospital Playlist 2. I binged the heck out of that.
Yay!
I thought I had gotten further along. I had only watched the first episode of season 2.
Wow.
So I had to binge a lot of hours of Hospital Playlist, which it is a pleasant binge, but man, a few episodes in, it's like, the nice part about it is whenever they're bringing a patient back in the next episode, I mean, I was right there. Like I had just watched, you know, yes, it's the next day. I'm right here. I recognize this person from literally an hour ago. Like, but it made the heavier stuff heavy, because when it was like boom, boom, boom. So when a patient maybe comes in, you know, a few months later, it was the next day for me. And so I was more invested in that person, things like that. But there will be, I'm sure, an episode coming up with the 3 hospital Nunas talking about that stuff.
I feel like we could come up with a better unit name.
Well, we can come up with a better unit name when we do that sometime. But it was really good. So yeah, Hospital Playlist 2. Okay, there's a web series that I'm watching because there are 2 Astro Kids in it. Which, I'm going to be real, typically a lot of those web series I do not necessarily recommend to most average folk. This one is not quite done yet. I have a couple episodes to watch still, and then there's one episode that hasn't been put out on YouTube yet. But so far, have there been 4 episodes, 5 episodes? I don't know. I've really, really enjoyed it. It has been really fun. Main character is a working, I guess she works in an entertainment agency now that I think about it, but office side typically, it seems. I mean, sometimes she's with talent a little bit on, it's not like, ooh, all these idol groups or anything. That's not where the emphasis is. Often she'll be in the office with her working buddy, who would be MJ, who she's been friend with since college. So he's one of the main love interests. And another main love interest would be one of the idols, who is Rocky. And he plays very kind of tsundere a little, but more like kind of too cool for school. Really, really funny. And then there's an ex. Her manager is her ex. And he's kind of quiet. I say all that to say, so there's 3 guys after her, love interest wise. All of a sudden she kind of gets a stalker. And she knows it has to be one of them.
ew.
Okay.
and that seems like really sketch and bad. It's handled very seriously, like that's not laughed off, but you can't figure out who. Like she's really struggling, and so even the love interests are taking it seriously. This isn't like a thing to laugh about. Like they're of course concerned about her, but you're like, you think it has to be one of them. Again, it's not done. I don't know. So for a web drama, they're handling it pretty well and stuff. So I thought it was just really fascinating. It's also made obvious that in her character in the past, I think in high school, probably had pictures taken of her that she didn't want. I don't think they're scandalous necessarily or anything, but pictures taken against her will or something. And so like she has a bad past with people doing that to her. And so it's obvious that when this starts happening again from a mysterious number of people sending her, you know, pictures from behind or something, it frightens her to a point, but she's also a very, very strong character, and she, calls the police herself. I mean, there's just a lot of aspects of it that I thought they did really well. But yes, there are funny parts too with the dudes bickering and things like that.
Mhm.
So, and Moonbin and Sanha make guest appearances and stuff too as other characters. So of course I'm having a good time with it.
Very fun.
It was actually, I was surprisingly like, wow, there's like plots, things are actually happening that I couldn't write myself. I really don't know what's going to happen. How often does that really happen in a web drama? Not very often. So like I was pleased. So that's that. And I'm really enjoying New World so far. Like I will probably have to put it on hold so I can crap out of it, because I probably will. And also so far it seems like the games and stuff are more accessible to me. Some of the busted games were harder for me to like think through. I didn't feel like I was processing at the same speed as those games and busted.
Nothing
but, like,
has been
New World seems a bit
overwhelming.
easier.
Like I mean, okay, don't take this the wrong way, but like Kai is keeping up. Like he's not like, and that's not to say he's like dumb or anything, but like he brings some big himbo kind of energy, and he's still doing all right. Like he's doing okay. So,
Listen, himbos can solve simple puzzles too.
There's a lot of times where it's sort of like he doesn't really know what's going on, but somebody says like, it's this, so we need to do this, and once this,
pops to it
right in it, and he's good at it when he's doing it. Like whatever the job is he's given to do, he does it, and he does it well. So and he gets the like, he very quickly grasps onto the like, I should not be too trusting or too honest with people concept. So he does very well sometimes.
I haven't watched a ton of things with him like outside of his idol stuff. But I've always heard about him being so adorable and whatever. But so like right off the bat in episode 1, he walks in like with his bucket hat. He's definitely in his nine. Like he's just the very cute bear, like him being like, oh, this is like a game where people can betray me. Oh, okay, I have to not be this innocent person. I have to actually like defend myself. Anyway, super fun. And that's it for me.
I have one drama that I forgot to talk about, but I wanted to talk about it here specifically because I'm not going to continue watching it, but I think people might be interested in it. It's a little web series that is so far so popular now that like it's getting a second season. It's called Work Later, Drink Now. I watched the first and a half episode. It's way too comedy for me. But it stars a bunch of people. It has Unji from A-Pink and then Shiwan from Super Junior, and it's essentially about a group of girlfriends who like to drink, and they're young and I think it just goes on, and they're like dating and work life struggles with the fact that they always come together to drink. But I saw a lot of people talking about seeing it but couldn't find it. I found it on demand Korea. So
okay.
If you can suffer through half-hour episodes having ads breaks into them, you don't have to have a plan on demand Korea to watch them.
That is great to know, because somebody I know is watching it and loves it. And when I asked her where she was watching it, she like DM'd me with the like sketchy links, and I was like, yeah, I'm not clicking that. Like, no. So
it was just there. I was like,
I
stumbled upon it, and so I think this is like, I haven't heard anybody actually say on demand Korea as their platform of watching it. So I just wanted to like make everybody known if that's a thing. And I do think there's a big audience for the drama. It's just not for me personally.
Yeah. And it seems like it's doing well in Korea.
Yeah, I mean, they've already like been
that.
like, I think it's solidified that they're getting a second season.
Cool.
And with that, I think that's it for what we're watching episode. Were you watching the same things or something different? Let us know on our Discord. That's right. We have a Discord we have all sorts of conversations, all sorts of fun stuff going on there. The link will be in the blog post.
Give us more to watch.
So come chat with us on Discord about stuff that, we have spoiler episode, like spoiler things. We have all sorts of stuff. We got okay, it's a good time. It's a good time. So we love hearing what you guys like watching and what you guys, think is great. So please do that. You can also hit us up on our social medias. The most common ones that we use are Twitter and Instagram. It's always @CertifiedNunas. That's how to find us. We're pretty easy to find. If you want to listen to us, we are on all the major podcast places, wherever you're listening right now. But if you want the links and everything, you'll have to go to our website, certifiednunas.com, where there are links and time codes for every episode, just so that you know what's what, and you can find the stuff that we talked about. And if you want to become a supporter of this podcast, you can go to patreon.com/certifiednunas to become a member of the Certified Fan family. We have movie nights, we have extras, little downloads, we have the stuff that gets cut out of the episodes, and frankly, we just love our fan family so much. We think they're the best, and we just love them every day, and they keep the wheels turning on this little situation we've got going here. Anyway, we hope you have a fantastic week. You wash your hands, wear a mask, and keep enjoying Asian entertainment. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.